Welcome back. We got some questions as we get ready to start this season here in, what, less than a week. Yay! So no Cat, obviously, in Minnesota. We did just talk about Anthony Edwards a little bit, but he is the guy, and he kind of already was. But does this mean he will take another leap as a player? Go.
Yes, I think so. I think he is primed. I think now with Cat, even more so, he's going to have the ball in his hands even more than he did the following year. He's got a whole another year of maturity and confidence. It's going to take some time fitting in with these new guys that they acquired with Dante, with Julius Randle. I do think that the offense might take a little bit of a hit because the spacing is going to be, they're going to have to figure out the spacing. Julius Randle is not as good of an outside shooter as Karl Anthony-Towns are, but this team's going to win a lot of games. They're a deep team. They defend. Chris Finch has them playing on both sides of the ball, but it all starts with Anthony Edwards. He's so explosive. He's such just a personality. It is his team, which I also believe is part of the reason why they were okay with moving off from Karl Anthony-Towns, because Anthony Edwards is the guy, and they see clearly that Julius Randle could fit with him offensively and defensively. You add their other role players that they have, Mike Conley, people like that. They're going to have a good year. They're going to win a lot of games.
I like the approach that he had this summer in the Olympics. He wasn't just happy to be there. He could have just went along for the ride, being a young guy. Like, hey, I'm just happy to be here with LeBron and Steph. Instead, he challenged those guys every day. He wanted to know where he was in the pecking order, and also spending so much time with Kevin Durant. Even before the Olympics, after the Olympics, he's been very vocal about Kevin Durant being somebody he looked up to. And he soaked up as much knowledge and as much game as he could from KD. He's going to come back this season better than ever.
I love that he's so vocal about everything. We like to do the grades, right, after trades happen, especially a trade like this between two big teams with stars. Did they get better or worse after this trade?
It's gonna be interesting. I hate to say worse because Julius Randle is a guy. He's an all-star caliber guy. He's gonna give them a different look. But I was starting to settle into seeing Cat and develop together. You know, I was settling into that 1-2 punch and then putting some really, really good pieces around them. I was a little confused with that. I know that came down to salary cap. That was a business decision. That wasn't a basketball decision. But I'm interested to see what can happen, because when you look at it on paper, the New York Knicks absolutely look like they've gotten better when you add Cat. But when you add DiVincenzo to Julius Randle to that, they're very capable, very talented guys. It's just some questions there. You know, like Chandler just mentioned, some spacing, some style of play issues that I'm going to have to see pan out. But right now, I think Anthony Edwards definitely takes a leap. He's going to give them an opportunity to win a lot of basketball games individually. I would love to see what they do when they put those guys out there, though.
And this is a huge, huge, huge opportunity for Naz Reid. The minutes that he got last year, he was unbelievable. Every time Towns was out or got in foul trouble and Naz Reid was in that closing lineup, he performed, and he was clutch. He can step out. He can space the floor a little bit. So I think with his more opportunity, I think he's going to thrive in this offense, and I think that with Cat leaving, it's really going to be his chance to even take that next step.
I think they do play faster, though. I think adding those guys, they can play a more up-tempo style of pace, and you opening up passing lanes, you opening up lanes for Anthony Edwards to be aggressive. You're giving Julius Randle an opportunity to attack downhill because, you know, he's known for getting those rebounds, pushing it out, and starting to breaks himself. That gives them an opportunity to be a more fast and athletic basketball team, opposed to when you're playing for Cat, who's going to be a pick-and-pop guy, or sometimes he's posting up, he's going to take his time with the basketball. And Julius Randle does that as well, but I think you're going to see a completely different style of play with this Minnesota.
I also think Julius Randle felt very disrespected on the way out of New York, and I think that would be interesting to see how it manifests.
And speaking of disrespected, Rudy Gobert is probably the most disrespected player in the NBA. We haven't even mentioned him. He's multiple Defensive Player of the Year, so he's still going to be that catalyst. They're deep. I love the rookie Terrence Shannon, Dante DiVincenzo, Rob Dillingham, so they also got some pieces where they're going to have a lot deeper team than they did last year.
It's going to be scrappy. I kind of like the idea of all this. Let's talk a little SGA.